There's so much activity on Vainglory right now. Everyone's sharing the "this is how I Vainglory" images, and Twitter is blowing up. Everyone's trying to get that triple glory weekend, that double glory weekend. We want those points, so keep retweeting them. I know I got a few out there, and there's some really good ones. People are playing with their cats, their babies, showing their setups, playing with their feet. Who knows what they're doing? But I've been having a pretty good week of Vainglory. I managed to get one of the accounts up to SA Gold. Didn't make that push to POA yet, but it's slowly happening, Playing Koshka mostly, having a pretty good time, but I'm getting pumped for patch 1.6. So, you know what? Let's jump into this episode. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about.
Shatter the Vain, a podcast about vainglory.
This is the 33rd episode of Shatter The Vain. My name is Chmielewski, and this is a podcast all about Vainglory. Every week, I try to break down the news, gameplay, game tips, and hopefully we can all become better players together. And this week, I have a new special guest. DragonBorne is joining me. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Brad. Hey, thanks for having me.
It's fantastic to have you here. I know we've been chatting for a while. We're co-hosts of the Undersprawl together, so we've done a few things together already. So this is great to have you on Shatter the Vain.
And it's awesome to be here.
Do you want to introduce people who you are? What do you do? Why should people know who you are? You're doing lots of fun stuff, so it's important. They should know who you are.
Well, I don't know why anybody would want to know who I am. No, I'm kidding. I'm definitely not as high profile as some of the amazing guests you've had on the show. But I am a streamer, DragonBorne. It's DragonBorne28 on Twitch, and it's VG DragonBorne on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I started playing Vainglory since it came out. It's my first MOBA. Nice. I know some of you guys have been playing a lot of MOBAs for a long time, and I fell in love with the game. I fell in love with the idea of playing a legitimate, great graphics game on a mobile device. And as soon as I started playing it, I discovered this crazy little thing called Twitch, where people actually go on and watch, and in some cases even pay to watch people play video games. And it blew my mind, and it changed how I viewed gaming and how people interacted with gamers. And I got right into it. I started streaming right away. I didn't know what I was doing. I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, most of us don't know what we're doing right away either. It's a lot of tweaking settings and figuring out, and I think every time we're like, oh man, how'd that break or how'd that mess up, and how can I make it better next time? So I think that's it's always a process, I think.
It is, and it's an exciting one at that. It's the problem solving of it that I kind of think I fell in love with the Twitch part.
Nice. And so who have you been playing? Like, who's your go-to character in Vainglory? Since this is your first MOBA, are you like, you're to supports? You like to try to carry games? What are you feeling lately?
When I started, it was apparent to me that I was not very good. So I immediately went to being support. I really fell in love with Catherine. Yeah. I used to main Catherine a lot, played her a lot. And then when Arden came out, I fell in love with Arden, and I absolutely love Arden. And now, because of 1.5, it's so balanced. I go back and forth between the two. I've always, since I've started playing MOBAs, felt like I did better as a support. There's a little bit more room for error. So you're learning a MOBA. It's great to let someone who really knows the ropes to kind of carry and show you the ins and outs. But as you gain that confidence as a tank, you become really pivotal. And you need to make the calls. And I find I'm now making the decisions on, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. Okay. And sometimes they're the right decisions, sometimes they're not. But I do love Arden and Catherine.
Nice. So have you gotten into Fortress that much? Since
I have. No, actually, I love Fortress too. Okay. I just found that I wasn't as good as quickly as I wanted to be. And what ended up happening is when the Jewel, OP Jewel started really wrecking the meta, I found that Catherine was a really great counter to it. I even posted that video of showing how the Stormguard, when overdrived against a Jewel Big Red Button, was pretty effective at melting the rest of the team.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love playing Catherine. She's like I think my favorite character as well. Like, I just go to her all the time. It's like, all right, it's kind of like almost a safe pick for me, like a comfort pick, I guess, more or less.
Same here.
Well, we got a lot of great news with 1.6 coming out and this announcement of this July 2nd 24-hour stream. So let's jump into the news.
Vainglory News.
So first thing in the news, I want to mention Rona. We got the preview or the reveal of Rona this past week on the Friday dev stream, which was awesome to see. I think we were all anticipating it. We knew it was coming, and we all had some ideas. There was that leaked video in the academy a few days ago, and we all got to see a little tease of her. And she looks really fun to play. Did you get a chance to see her in action here on the dev stream?
I did. I watched all the matches actually, and watching Shin Kaigen play Rona was scary.
Yeah, his build seemed to be 2 Serpent Mask and Clockwork, and then a defensive item. That's what he was playing with, which seemed pretty nice.
It did. It did. It made Rona extremely not tanky, but just seemed to be able to stay alive in team fights.
Yeah.
Viable.
Should we go over her abilities? She has like a pretty fun kit that's kind of similar to like a glaive, because he's like this just axe wielding, just keep attacking kind of ability, but she's got some fun stuff.
She does.
So the first thing would be her heroic perk, which is Berserker's Fury. And this Rona gains 50% faster than most heroes, but she deals 80% of damage with each attack. So it's a reduced damage with each attack, but she attacks faster, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because this is the first time we're seeing any kind of reduction on a basic attack for a hero.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what this means is she's going to have a set attack numbers, but as you build weapon items, the weapon items are reduced by 80%.
Okay. So that's kind of an interesting way to build her, or an interesting mechanic. Like, you can't just build all this attack speed, and she's just going to keep attacking faster.
Right. It also eliminates the ability to burst someone down. I think it spreads the damage over. Like, you can quickly attack, but you can't go in with a giant big hit.
Yeah. So that's cool. Then our next ability, my stuff is all out of order here, but I think it's the Into the Fray, right?
Yes, it is.
So this Rona leaps into battle, gaining blood rage, which I guess is an important thing to know, that she doesn't have energy. She's kind of like Arden, where he doesn't have energy either, but she has basically like a rage meter that builds up over time, and then as she uses attacks, it kind of disappears. So when she leaps into battle, she gains blood rage. She also gains damage reduction for 3 seconds based on the number of enemy heroes she hits. And then after a short delay, the ground ruptures for 3 seconds, slowing enemies who pass over it by 35%. So yeah.
It's a really Into the Fray is really, really interesting to me. There's a lot of things going on with this specific ability, and the timing. I feel like this is going to be the one people don't know how to use right away. When I was watching this dev stream, I don't know if you noticed, but it was really interesting how people tried to time the ground rupture. I noticed a lot. By the time Into the Fray was activated, the enemy hero was kind of out of there, and the ground rupture really wasn't, impacting that fight. It seemed. I don't know if you noticed the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what? Is Into the Fray her ultimate? Did I get this backwards? No. Did I start at the end?
No, I believe it's no, it's her A ability.
Oh, okay.
But it has this interesting when she lunges in there. It says the ground rupture is like right after that first short delay. After a short delay. And if you get away from her right away, you dodge the rupture altogether. And I noticed that a lot of the players were doing that. They were dodging the rupture. So I didn't get to see the rupture really effective. But I really am interested about this blood rage.
Yeah. So yeah, Wolf Hands Into the Fray is her A. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, the rupture is going to be neat. And I think that's going to be the thing that's kind of going to be, like you said, people trying to time it correctly and just get it correct. So it should be interesting. And then our B ability is Foe Splitter. So Rona lunges to a target. I guess this is similar to like a Kashka Leap, or even a Arden Leap, or a Fortress Leap, where lots of heroes have this like jump mechanic. And then she leaps to them, and then does a basic attack briefly using her abilities, and then she can reactivate the same ability to attack again, causing all of her blood rage to be applied and cause a whole bunch of damage, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is, I think, gonna be the one you probably use the most. I think it's just like your go in and fight ability.
Yeah, and it gives you like that double attack. So already her attack speed's really high, and it sounds like she gets two really quick attacks potentially. As long as you have that blood rage built up, you can immediately initiate a much higher attack damage. You're looking at it, you get that increase in attack speed, and then or attack increase, and then also with the weapon ratio and the base second attack, you can see the second attack damage is quite a bit higher than that first attack.
Right, yeah. And these looked like the final numbers. These are probably the final numbers that are in the build. But yes, she's doing what, 0.3, 0.5% for each point of blood rage consumed. So yeah, if it's full, you're going to do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
And then her final ability is Red Mist. So Rona begins an axe-wielding whirlwind, continuing dealing weapon damage to nearby enemies during the whirlwind. She can move freely, but at a reduced speed. She can also cancel the ability at any time by reactivating it or using another ability. This is, I think we've kind of seen this before in other MOBAs where it's just like a hero that basically spins around and does a AoE damage, just causing a whole bunch of damage to everyone. This is similar to Glaive's ultimate, but kind of non-stop.
And the biggest difference here with this ability, and this is why you saw the double serpent mask with Shinkaigen, because he really kind of focused on this ability and maxing it out. Because the 175% weapon ratio is
nuts.
really it's nuts with the double serpent mask. And the thing to point out here, and I'm pretty sure I can't confirm it, but I'm suspicious that this 175 is on the items you actually have and does not include the 80% reduction. The 80% reduction is only, or the 20% reduction is only to the items when you do a basic attack, and because this is separate from that, this is where all those weapon items just become really strong.
Right, yeah. And, we're seeing a lot of high crystal stuff on all these abilities, too. I'm interested to see how the crystal Rona can do, because into the fray, the rupture damage is 200%.
200. Yeah, on top of a 220 damage. So you put some, and one of the things that's nice about something like this is it looks like they've tried to create a kit that worked both ways.
Which they often tend to do. They like giving their players the options to go weapon or go crystal or go tank even, if that's something you want to do. They like to try to find a good balance there. But I think we saw in the dev stream, everyone was kind of doing a weapon Rona build. That seemed to be the thing.
They were definitely trying to take advantage of the red mist because of its 175%. You rarely see a ratio that high on a weapon item. I think Thunderstrike is the only one that gets close to that, and we know what kind of damage that does.
Yeah, those crit damages on those are just nuts. But being slowed at this, I think it's going to be kind of an easy ability to kite as well. That's going to be the one thing. You could be like Ringo, or even Adagio could just slow it and kind of be like, later, I'm out of here.
Yeah, if you have a lane range hero, but you see so many melee range heroes these days that this is a great counter to a Jewel or Glaive laner.
Yeah. Yeah, we did see her in lane. That's true. I think Zken or even Playoff Beer was saying that we'll probably see her in the jungle, just because I think most people are accustomed with Glaive in the jungle, and you only start to see those Glaives and those Cruels and the Kashkas in the higher elos in those lane positions, even the Takas. It takes highly skilled players to sometimes master those melee heroes in lane.
She seems like they're saying it's low difficulty because the general abilities are quick to pick up on. But I think that some of the interesting, minute details of her kit will be challenging, which you'll see develop the people as people play her and use her. Kind of like Fortress, who is really not a difficult hero to play, but getting everything timed just right. You can take a good hero and make him really good, potentially even OP.
Yeah, so what do you think some of the counters to Rona might be? Are we going to see, since she has to jump in the fights, are we going to see a Cruel being pretty good, or is it going to be a hero that can kind of out-kite her?
I think stunning and kiting. So slow and stunning and kiting. You know, when you have like a Ringo with a Catherine, as soon as she jumps in, if you stun her, she loses all of her rage, and without
Okay.
that rage, it really basically deflates her ability to continue fighting because she
Okay.
needs that rage to get in. And that's a big difference between her and Arden. Is Arden maintains his vengeance as he goes into the fight, even if he gets stunned.
Yeah.
But you stun her, and at least from what I saw on the dev stream, she lost it. She lost her rage, and that's going to
Okay.
be really hurt. So she has to be careful, like with when she's going in and trying to build up that rage. If she gets stunned out of it, it's going to make her difficult. And then a Ringo, I think, is a great counter to her in the lane because he can slow her on top of already her being slow with Red Mist. He
Uh-huh.
can slow her and then kite her very easily.
Yeah. Or even Vox as well with his resident slow. So
Exactly.
so I think we're both happy. Catherine's gonna stay in the meta here, probably in 1.6.
Yeah.
So that'd be great. I'm excited. I definitely am gonna pick up Rona. I don't know if I'll definitely play her a lot. I do enjoy playing Glaive, and he's kind of one of those oh, I just want to change up my playstyle for a minute, but he's not like my go-to hero. So, but we'll see about Rona. Is she someone you're gonna pick up?
I mean, I've had a habit of picking up every new hero because I
Okay.
want to learn, and also I'm always afraid that it's going to be the next overly OP hero, and I don't want to. I don't want to be unprepared when I'm going through my pub queues to miss out on a potential really strong hero that they forgot to nerf. Because although I don't like an unbalanced game, I'm smart enough to know that
Right.
when it's unbalanced to play it that way. So I will pick her up and play her. I really like her kit. It's not really geared towards my type of gameplay.
Okay.
I'm more going to be a tank or support, and I just don't see her having that ability. A lot of her tankish items like coming from lifesteal are based on building attack damage, like
Yeah.
Serpent's Mask. She really doesn't have much going for her in the way of support.
Yeah, I don't think we got shown like the health and where she kind of falls into the
Yeah, I didn't see
that
any of the
range.
basic stats.
So that may be more to come. I think next week when we get the release and everything.
Yeah, none of the basic stats got released.
Which I think brings us into maybe let's finish up what was revealed before we get into this July 2nd launch.
Okay.
So we got Ringo Tier 3 like reveal in-game action. I was hating on the splash art for Ringo. I was like, whatever, it's just splash art. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I've seen splash art before. But then they showed the in-game footage. I was like, damn, that's pretty nice. What'd you think about this?
It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was everything I wanted it to look. I think it's one of the things where the splash art got you too close to the old man, grumpy old man look, and you're like, not really that cool. But when you're looking at it from the top down and you see that spiraling, glowing pistol, it just captures me.
And then when
I'm definitely.
when he's got his fire like spinning around him from his B ability,
Yes.
it's like that's kind of legit. I like that.
It was extremely. I was really impressed. It was my favorite Ringo skin for sure. And as far as tier threes that I've seen, I really am impressed. I like it better than the Kashka tier three, and I think that it's one that people are going to be trying to chase and get that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the Kashka one, we haven't. Yeah, we did see the in-game stuff, but that Ringo, the particles are just like, I don't know, they just look awesome, and I can only imagine what Saw Tier 3 is going to look like if we got some really sweet particles on Tier 2 Saw, and then go with Saw 3. I don't know, just all that kind of stuff they add to each tier is pretty awesome. And then the last bit of news we got revealed on the dev stream are these card boxes. So this is going to be the way you can now pick up cards using Glory and Ice. Since now we've only been able to pick up cards by playing games and randomly getting a card or leveling up your account. You get a card at level 5, level 10, and I haven't made it past 10, so I don't know if you get one at 15 and 20 as well. Does it go up there? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't made it past 10 on any of my accounts, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
the problem is I've kept playing several, and so I haven't really been able to get most of them even up to 10.
Okay, I think I just got the Wicked Keys account to level 10 today, and I was like, all right, I'm ready for ranked on that account now. You're probably like me. We play a lot of private matches, so those level 10s are tough to get to.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I was really happy with how they did the card box structure. I really wanted them to create something that seemed fair, that you kind of knew what you were getting, but it also encouraged you to spend some money. And they did that at a level I wasn't expecting. The fact that you can see what's in the box and you know exactly what cards are left gives you a sense of visibility to what you're purchasing when you spend it. And you may not get any good cards the first time, but you know, well, the odds of getting it the second time just went up.
Yeah, it's a super sneaky way to do it too. It's like you're chasing those cards then. It's like, all right, I spent, I think it's 400 and basically 80 ice right now for like 4 cards, and then you get like 4 bad ones. You're like, ah, that's crap. All right, hit it again. Hit it again. It's like
Yes.
it's like playing slots or something. You're just like, it's my turn. It's my turn. I guess with this way you know it's gonna happen, but still, it's a
It is.
you're gonna guarantee people at least doing it a couple times.
Yeah, I did feel like the prices were a little wacky. I thought that they were very random numbers. They didn't seem to make like fit into the normal mode. I saw like what was it 900 something random glory or no 700 random number glory and like 6 or 500 random number ice.
Yeah, for what Icebox right now, first one's 479 ice.
Ah, 470.
And the glory box is 749 ice, which glory
Yeah.
is fine. You get like random numbers of glory, like whatever. But the ice, you're buying in like hundreds.
It was interesting. I don't know where that's coming from, and I feel like they're trying to encourage people. Like you know how you have like, they're trying to have you have that annoying situation of where you have leftover ice of like 20 or 32 ice, and that's a
Yeah.
weird position to be in. And it also means that people can get to the one ice guild
Ooh, okay.
accidentally.
You've accidentally become a member of the One Ice if you do it correctly.
If you do it correctly. And so that was interesting, but the card system and the boxes, they look great.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, did you get a good look at the epic cards? They look phenomenal.
I did. The animation on them look really fun, and just how they glow and appear. It's pretty neat. Besides like the random price, do you feel like the price is okay? Like, are they too expensive? Like you know what you're getting, so that's fine. But it's like 500 ice for basically 4 cards.
Yeah, I think the ice was a little too much. And I'll tell you this why, is you want to encourage people to spend some money, and there's a little bit of a chance involved, which means people are probably just for one box going to spend, you know, two trips to the ice to get that ice box, for instance.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at 1,000 ice. That's that's money to spend. A lot of money, I think, on the potential of getting good cards for maybe one skin.
Right.
And you need so many. I do think it's high. I think you will see prices change maybe a little bit after the launch, depending on the reception.
Okay. And these boxes change every 7 days, so you're going to get like a new set of cards in there. I'm sure this like first week, people will just drop a whole bunch because they want those tier 3 and tier 2 skins, like whatever. Many of us are just like, whatever, we don't care, we want the skins.
Yeah.
But I wonder over the months, are we going to see people wait for like, oh, this time it's Candy Controlled Kashka and Dark Parade Adagio. Like, I want Kashka, but I don't want Adagio. Maybe I'll wait until it's Kashka and Cruel, and then I'll buy that box.
I think you'll definitely see that with some of the ice boxes. And again, the system seems like it can change pretty quickly. They can have multiple boxes maybe to get people interested. But I do like the time thing because then it also is not trying to just be a complete money grab. They're trying to slow things down so you don't have an excuse to spend $100 in one weekend on Vainglory.
Yeah.
I do know that they always had a sense. They always have spoken about being responsible game developers and not trying to take money when it's not needed. The skin system is completely optional to begin with.
True.
So the fact that they kind of limit you to a certain amount of boxes within a certain time period is kind of another way of them tipping the hat to that responsibility
Yeah, that's a
to
good
the
point.
fact that children are playing the game.
Uh-huh. And with the, I guess you should mention, with the ice boxes, like you can only peek inside the ice ones. You can't even peek inside the glory ones, right?
Oh, I didn't know. I must have missed that. I know I saw the ice ones you could. I don't know. I thought maybe you could do it for all of the boxes, but I may be wrong.
I didn't see, or the screenshots I have doesn't have the like tap to peek inside.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just know that they said that the icebox would be very much specifically character driven, like it'd be specific characters in the icebox, but that the glory box would be more random. So I don't know if that was their way of their saying it's random, you don't know what you're getting, or it's random in the sense that it's not going to have a theme.
Right. And but you could clear all those cards. Like you're gonna clear that box. So at some point you'll know what's in it. Are we gonna see these numbers kind of decrease, you think, on the page? Like we see the numbers like, oh, there's 58 rare and 16 epic and 6 legendary. If you go to that page after you've bought a few, I wonder if it's gonna like decrease. So you know, like, oh, I've only got like 2 more times to buy and then I'll finish this box.
Yeah, I think that was what the impression I got was if you happen to get the 2 epics right out of the gate, it may disincentivize you from wanting to purchase another deck because you already got the best cards in the deck. So I don't know if that was deliberate to have some sort of chance and make you feel good about the purchase sometimes and really bad about it the other times.
Yeah.
But I think that it's interesting the system that they're putting in place. It's very unique to Vainglory. I think I don't recall seeing a card system quite with that kind of mechanics in place in other games. Although you see a lot of cards in a lot of other games.
Yeah, cards are the new hotness, I guess. Like every game has cards. They did say that there will be a way to get rid of your excess cards. Probably at some point. That. I'm sure they're going to see how this goes over the next month and then show us this way to disenchant cards or maybe gift cards or, I don't know, shred cards for glory or something like that. Depends on what they're going to do. Any thought?
As much as I would...
Any thought? You think they're going to have us trade cards or get rid of them?
I think as much as I would love for them to have a trading system in the game, it would then allow you to have multiple accounts and then Smurf. And I thought that the purpose of the card system was to kind of help disincentivize Smurfing, to focus on one account instead of multiple. Okay. If you could trade cards between accounts, even at a price, like Ice or Glory, I think that you would then now have an incentive to, well, I can play on this account, I'm still going to get cards, and then I'll just transfer them over at whatever cost that is. And I think that that is something that they might want to be trying to stay away from.
Okay.
So I'm thinking something more along the lines of, you can trade it in for glory.
Okay. I think that would be the most sense. I'd love to also see a way, I think I mentioned it last time, to do like almost wonder trades like you can do in Pokemon where you just send a card into space and someone else had sent one into space and then you just swap cards. It's like, oh, all right, let's see what we got. I think that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, and again, I would love to see, and that would be something that would be fair because then you couldn't swap it with your other account. And I think that if they do any kind of card trading, it has to be so you can't game the system to trade with your account so that you can continue smurfing.
Right. Yeah, I think we have the chat asking like why would trading kind of promote smurfing. I think because you may get a really good card on one account and then just pass it on to your other account. Like you may try to climb an account on a lower tier where you can just keep winning very quickly. If you're a Vainglorious player, you jump into a new account and you just win in 10, 12 minutes every time. You could rack up a bunch of cards. And then let's trade them to our main account so you can get those free skins. So
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. But I'm excited for the card system, and I think we're going to get to see it all on July 12th. Super Evil has announced that Vainglory is going global on July 12th.
July 2nd?
July 2nd. Sorry. Yeah, I said 12th. Oh. July 2nd.
I'd be scared there. I was like, no.
Oh, my God. It's so a long way. July 2nd. And they're going to do a 24-hour Vainglory Twitch stream on this day promoting this global launch and Android launch. This is exciting stuff. So this means that they know that the app's been submitted to Apple, because that's always the big question is, will this be available? When will it be available? So that means they could be sitting on it right now on 1.6, and they just don't want to give it to us because they're waiting for July 2nd.
Yeah,
This is gonna be a fun day.
going to be absolutely insane. I'm so upset that I have to work the morning of July 2nd. I really just want to take the day and watch the streams the whole time. It's going to be 24 hours nonstop on the Vainglory, on the actual Vainglory stream on Twitch.
Uh-huh. And they have invited tons of different Twitch streamers, DZ and Brizzle McFizzle, and those guys are going out there, and they're going to be at some event they're going to launch that really hasn't been announced or anything yet. And then we're doing a stream as well. We have a time slot.
That's right, and it kind of worked out. It was not planned for you and I to kind of be at the same time. I think kind of a few small little mistakes here or there to get this set up, and it actually worked out in our favor. You and I will both be hosting essentially what was supposed to be was Team Vertigo TV slot, and now it's going to be a scrim between Wicked and Vertigo.
Right, so it's still, I guess, Vertigo TV that you do every week. I'm sure with all that jazz that you're doing on that, I'm not sure how we're going to make it look yet, but we're going to dual cast these games. And then the winner may take on Nemesis, maybe. We're still working that out.
Oh, the details are really fluid right now. All I can say for sure is it's Vertigo versus Wicked.
Okay.
But if I can't, it'll either be like a best out of 3 or a single round knockout.
We should see if Exceptions wants to get the one ice skill to take on the winner. That could be one of
again, yeah, it's fluid. We need to come up with something quickly. The time is almost here.
I'm throwing that out there. I know Exceptions listens, so if he wants to, let the winner play the one ice guild, we could maybe do that.
It would be exciting.
Oh, but
yes.
What's our time slot? It's like
our time slot's great. I mean, we really have a fantastic time slot. It's 7 to 8 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, which means it's 10 to 11 on the Eastern Coast.
Yeah, so it'll be late for you.
Not that late,
okay.
and not any later than I normally stream.
Okay, good. So this should be fun. I can't wait to see, I hope they put out a list of everyone's time slots. So you could, as a fan of Vainglory, know, oh, my favorite streamer has a slot at 3 a.m. I got to make sure I stay up for it. I want to watch them. I want to watch these games. So hopefully they give us that before the launch, so you don't just see maybe you want to watch the whole thing, but you can know oh, I got to set aside this time for it. And
I did see a list going out there.
Oh, you did?
There is a list out somewhere.
So somebody's been piecing it together by everyone who's been hyping it up, maybe?
Just a little.
Okay. And then the Undersprawl is going to have a slot as well. We're going to have an hour slot. We're going to probably do a mini show as well. So that should be fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if I have our time slot up. I think it was in the morning or early afternoon, something like that. I'll have to double check that and make sure I'm ready for it as well.
Same here, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the Android launch is going to be pretty neat, and it's going to basically explode the player base. I know they stopped taking beta invites a week or two ago, so you couldn't get in that. So they've been having people tweeting them and asking them. I've been seeing on Twitter, and it's just going to be nuts, just the amount of devices and new people that are going to be introduced to the game.
It really is. This is the kind of the turning point in the game, and it's interesting that they have said that this is what they're considering the commercial launch. I never felt like before they were letting people on that this is the final product. They always have been saying and communicating clearly that they've been working towards a final product. And it's interesting that they're putting the stake right here in 1.6, saying this is it. This is our final product for at least the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to call the start of the Vainglory worlds, basically.
Right, because this should be the patch that also the tournament is played on too, the Korea tournament as well. So it's kind of interesting that they're this is stable and extremely balanced at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine working there right now. I can't imagine the amount of stress because they have been nonstop pulling out amazing content and delivering to the fans. It's been incredible.
Yeah, I think Playoff Beard, and I'm sure Wolf fans can attest to this. You see them on Skype and you see them on Twitter, like always active at crazy hours, and you have a question, somebody's getting back to you, and they're growing like nuts. I think we mentioned this before, in between segments. Wolf fans got hired as their community manager for the North America region. They've been hiring community managers for each of the different regions. It's just showing that, like, they're making money, they're growing, they're getting more interest in the game. It's a crazy time for the company, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think it's all good indicators for where they're moving.
I know they're going to get a ton more money from me for the skins, helping pay people's salaries.
Yeah, same here.
Well, that's exciting. I'll be watching most of this, I think, on July 2nd. At least probably have it up while I'm working, listening to it. I'll be listening along. It'll be good. So be sure to mark your calendars. And then the last bit of news is the free hero rotation. So we have a fun one this week. We have like a very lady themed one. I guess it's pretty split, but we have Celeste, Catherine, Kashka, and then we have Adagio, Cruel, and Ringo. So these are pretty much all the heroes I love to play. Adagio, maybe not much, but everyone else on here, I have a blast playing. And the amount of Celeste this week just has been crazy. I'm so happy Taka is not free, because I was getting sick of that. But the Celeste players have been a lot of fun.
They have. I love playing Celeste. I play Celeste on my EU account almost exclusively, just because I want to learn Celeste. The kit is one of my favorite kits in the game. To have the stun and then that huge Solar Storm for the ultimate, as well as the spammable Halcyon Genesis. It's just it's a lot of fun. It takes a lot of skill, and I really love Celeste as well.
And you know what this means? Since Fortress wasn't in this rotation, and we have a patch this week, he's in our next rotation. That's usually how it works. You get the free,
I haven't been paying attention. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you get the free hero, or you get the newest hero free on the week of the launch. So, yeah. So we got Fortress next week, so be ready for that. Unless they do something special where it's like tier 3 skins only. But usually Fortress should be free.
I'm not ready for the Fortress Insta-locks. I'm not ready for it.
He's a hard one to play if you haven't played him. If you haven't learned how he does, or just like the early aggression and you don't have that lockdown, it's a mess. But that'll do it for this week's news. Let's jump into some forum static.
Forum static.
So I found this fun thing on the forums. It's basically a bunch of people talking about their favorite alt in the game. Like, who has the best one? I think we have to set this up and say Jewel is out, because her alt right now is the best in the game. Like, just the way it's set up and the melting the entire team is just dumb. So I think they say that at the beginning, like, besides that one. And so I wanted to go over and what is your favorite alt? Or do you think we should go over what everyone's alt is and then pick our favorites?
I don't know if we need to go through every single alt. I think we could probably list a top 5.
Okay.
A top 5 that we think, and then pick the top out of that one.
Okay, let's pick the top one, and then we'll pick our worst, who we think is the worst.
Nice.
All right, so I think we were talking about Celeste. I think that is one of my favorites. So basically, she launches her Solar Storm, it goes across the map, and collides, and just, blows up an enemy that hopefully you targeted down. I think that's my favorite one to use. It's the most satisfying one when you land it, and you can steal Kraken with it.
Yeah.
And then I also think Catherine's alt is basically a game changer alt. If you can set it up correctly before the fight starts, silence everyone so no one can use their fountains or their reflex blocks, you basically melt the entire team.
It really is powerful if you overdrive the silence. How long you don't realize how long that silence is until you're on the other team trying to pop a fountain and you can't, and you're getting melted down. Yeah, it's definitely a game changer in the right hands.
Right, so those are my two favorites. What about you?
I would say Celeste as well. It's very satisfying, that ultimate, and I don't use it the right way all the time. In fact, that's probably my biggest flaw with Celeste is I get too excited. I'm in a team fight and I see enemy heroes at full health and I just want to blow them away.
Okay.
And I do get excited, and it kind of is the same way with Ringo's Hellfire Brew. It's very satisfying because you're confident you're going to, when you hit somebody, that it's going to hurt. And the only difference is with Celeste, you have to aim. I really find Hellfire Brew satisfying because it's that ultimate that you get that off, and there's a good chance you've just gotten a kill.
Okay. Yeah, especially if you're playing Crystal Ringo, when that Hellfire Brew is just nuts.
It is. It is.
But my least favorite ultimate in the game, it might be. It's tough between saws because sometimes it's just so underwhelming. But Adagios, it's just so easy to block. It's great when it lands, but one reflex block or a crucible, it's like, all right, you just stood there for what, 5 seconds, and did nothing then.
And actually, I've been thinking a lot about Adagio's ult. It is my least favorite ult because I can dodge it. I don't play Adagio. And I can get away from Adagio's all the time. And it made me kind of think about how they could probably change the ult. Like a lot of like what they did with Jewel. They changed Jewel completely by making very, very small changes, like decreasing the time it takes for that ult to kick off. And Adagio is one of those ults where you reduce the time it takes for that ult to kick off, and you have to increase your reaction time in order to dodge it. I think it'd become a very powerful ult.
Okay.
I think it's one of those abilities that's just a few seconds away from being extremely strong.
Yeah, because what is it? Vox's ult. It has that delay, but it's like half the time as Adagio's, and it kind of does this, not a similar thing, but it has like a similar effect where it's like, oh, you can block it, or if it hits, it hurts, and you're like screwed then. And same thing with Adagio's. When it hits, it works.
It's very strong when it hits. It's got that stun, and I think I'm right in saying the stun is only at the very like utter center of the ult. Like it doesn't. I don't think the stun affects all the way out to the outer rim.
Well, they have to be burning. So you need to get your fire off first.
Oh right. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't use Adagio. That kid is so foreign. But I know that it's when you get it, if you can get out of it, if you're near the outer rims, you can get out no problem. And sometimes when you're in the inner rims, you can stun her out of it so quickly.
Yeah.
They really need to decrease the time it takes for that ult to happen because you really need to be able to pull it off. And it's such a large circle. But with the amount of speed you get by late game, you can either boots out or use one of the abilities that you have like on an Arden or on a Catherine to get out of it, and then you completely dodge it, and it makes it useless.
Right. All right, so we agree. Adagio's is pretty crappy right now.
It is. I'm trying to think of one that I didn't like either. I actually like Saw's ult. I just think it's underpowered because of the nerfing he got. It used to be extremely powerful and very satisfying, too, because you would kill people quite quickly. I can't think of anybody else's. Everyone else has very, very strong ult. So yeah, I would have to
Cruel's is okay, but it's very hard to land. I guess similar to Celeste's, where, if you can land skill shots pretty well, you're good. But
yeah.
And that stun, if you do it right, if you're good with Cruel and you can hit them on the way back, and that's some good Cruel play. Because it does more damage the more distances travel. So if you can catch them on the way back, it's like an extra
Actually,
stun.
I'm gonna change my mind. Well, not change my mind, but add in. I think Petal's ult it's not that it's a bad ult, but it's like very hit or miss. I think that what I find is when the minions start to go and explode, they always end up blowing up when you don't want them to, or not hitting or blowing up or hitting a minion or whatever it is. And I feel like it needs to be easier to get that ult off. I remember it being devastating when I first started playing the game, and now I hardly notice it.
Right. I think I'd love to see Petal's ult have an indicator, some sort of indicator to know how many minions I have up. Because sometimes in those fights, if you have Adagio or Kashka, like all of a sudden your minions are gone. So if I had some sort of indicator that was like, oh, 2 minions. So if I hit my ult, it's like, oh, that kind of wasted that ability there. I could have had more power out of it. But yeah, Petal's ult is kind of hit or miss sometimes. But yeah, if you have a favorite alt or even a least favorite alt, go to this forum. I got a link in the show notes. I'll include it in the post. Let people know. The Vainglory forums are a great place to just like share opinions, find out more about the game, and yeah, just give your thoughts. And that'll do it for this week's episode of Shatter the Vain. That's episode 33. DragonBorne, thanks for joining me. Before we get out of here, again, where can people find you? VertigoTV, lay it all on me.
All right. Yes. I mean, I'm on Twitter at VGDragonBorne. I do 2 channels, produce 2 channels. I do the DragonBorne 28 on Twitch, and I do Team Vertigo TV, which is a Sunday channel that's only on Sundays, which we host guilds and kind of try to promote guild life in the community and show how exciting it is and competitive high elo play when best we can. And that's always a fun. It's 2 hours on Sunday, and then on between 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I stream on my normal channel Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm also part of the Undersprawl with you. I guess it's every Wednesday now?
Yeah, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, so 8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So that's awesome.
Or Eastern Time.
Definitely follow all those channels. Give them a follow on Twitter. It's great stuff. I love watching the guild stuff on Vertigo TV. You just had a new guild on Edge, right? You were saying
Team Edge.
Team Edge.
Yeah, and it was a good game. I don't know if you caught the second match of Team Edge.
No, I'll have to go back and watch it. I was doing these show notes here.
It was really good. Very high competitive play. Every once in a while, we do get a guild though that's somewhat new and green, and it does show. But they always are appreciative of coming on and learning, and because you can go back and watch the past broadcasts and see how you can become better as a player. And that's really the heart of where Vertigo TV is to be there for the guilds.
Okay, awesome. I think I'm going to have to brush up on all my abilities and make sure I have the names ready for when we shoutcast this coming week.
I think so too. Here, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't know Adagio's stunned.
I don't think, hopefully no one plays Adagio. We don't have to know. But yeah, Shatter the Vain is on Twitter at Shatter the Vain. Follow me up there. I'm sharing lots of tweets and stuff. Lots of "This is how I Vainglory" tweets at the moment. Retweeting those, trying to get us triple glory weekend. Just go over there, follow it up. Facebook page /Shatter the Vain. Same thing, sharing images, news stuff. Go over there. I'm also got a Bindle chat going. It's #Shatter the Vain. Give me ideas for the show. Let me know what you think. If you have questions for the guests when they're coming on, let me know. It's a fun place to hang out. And then the website, shatterthevain.com. All the episodes get posted there. Links to iTunes. Leave a review. I love seeing those. I check it almost daily, maybe every other day. Yeah, it helps more people find the show. Yeah, thanks. That'll do it for this week's episode. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was great, DragonBorne. Fantastic. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, Brad.
Shatter the Vain.